Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am currently in Germany. I wanted to do a video of like how many books can I read on vacation because I'm actually going to be away for like 19 days. So I was trying to like figure out, I've seen other people do these kind of videos. They usually go for like a week, which is like a normal vacation time or like a reading vlog. But considering the fact that I'm going for so long, I plan to read quite a lot of books, so I can't really like focus a lot of in each books. Like normally in all my other reading vlogs I read like 3 books and the video still takes like 30 to 40 minutes. So I'm just going to like do a few clips of each books, maybe talk more of the ones that I like really love, and then just see in general like how many books I can read and then do a review of all the books that I read. So it's not going to be like as in-depth as other videos, but basically right now I am in Germany and tomorrow we go to Prague. The day after we go to a different city in the Czech Republic, and then on Tuesday, right now it's Saturday, on Tuesday we go to Budapest for a week, and then we go to Vienna for a week, and then we go home. So but on the car ride here, I actually started this from home, but I only read like 80 pages. So on the car ride today I read Out on a Limb. I read the entire thing and I just wanted to talk about like my opinion and what I thought about this book, because I didn't really film any reactions as I was reading it. I only filmed like aesthetic moments and like clips of me reading it, but not really like anything on my feelings about it. So on my Goodreads I've put 3.5 stars. A lot of books I rate like 4 stars, but even though I did really like this book, it just didn't feel like a 4-star, if that makes sense. Like yes, it was a good story, but I didn't love it. So if you don't know about this book, it is about Winifred, or like Win, and Bo, and they have a one-night stand in like chapter 2, and then she gets pregnant, tells him, and it's basically just the entire book is like the story of her being pregnant and like with her first child, figuring this out, and like she'd never met Bo before that night, so they're trying to like get to know each other while they're also preparing for parenthood. It is a really cute story and I really do like the characters. I think that they had a cute dynamic, but I also felt like, I mean, yes, they did know each other because obviously they got to know each other throughout the book, but something still just kind of felt a little weird and or off to me about their romance. Like I didn't really feel like they were like in love. And then my other problem with this book, or like the reason why I gave it 3.5 instead of 4, is just that I felt like the book didn't really have a plot other than it being a one-night stand, like accidental pregnancy trope. But other than that, I don't really feel like it had anywhere to go, if that makes sense. Like I don't feel like there was anything more. So 350 pages of seeing her pregnancy. I mean, maybe it would be more relatable if I myself had been pregnant or like had a child or anything like that, to commemorate those, or like to understand her feelings or like find her relatable. Yeah, I just didn't. But I still really enjoyed the book. I wasn't really bored at all, honestly. I still had a great time reading it, so it's not that. I just know in my heart that it wasn't a 4-star, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, that was book number 1 of the vacation. And now it's over, and I actually don't know what I want to read next. I have brought 10 books with me on my trip, and I also have my Kindle. But I was thinking, because I've been reading a lot of like romances, that I wanted to read maybe a thriller, and I brought a few different ones, so let me just go get them. The 2 books I brought that are like thrillers is, first off, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden to me is kind of like a hit or miss author. Some books 5 stars, absolutely love, obsessed. Others like 2 stars, I find it so weird and boring and just, yeah. So it's really hit or miss with her. But I really kind of like this cover. I think it's kind of fun and cool. And then the other book is Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and Riley Sager is like one of my favorite thriller authors ever. Like I don't think I've rated any book of his like less than 4 stars. And I don't even know if I've rated any of them 4. I think all of them have been like 4.5 or 5 because they're so good. My only problem with this book is just I've read like 2 or 3 other books similarly, like in the same concept, and I have disliked them all because it's a road trip. Like that means I think the whole thing takes place in like one night of like a car ride where one is a serial killer or something. I just read, not necessarily that exact trope, but like, you know, a book that takes place in like one night or one day where one is a killer, and I just never like it. But because I love Riley Sager, I just want to give it a chance anyways. So these are my 2 options, and I don't know if I'll start it tonight or tomorrow on the car ride, but we'll see. But I'll obviously keep you guys updated on which one I choose. So okay, 50 pages in. So far, I'm kind of like fearing that I was right, that these types of books are not for me. But then at the same time, I'm also really intrigued. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Riley Sager just has a way to write things where I am so intrigued as to what it is that's going to happen. So even if I do think that like the car ride and all that is gonna be a little bit boring compared to his other books, I'm still going to continue it and like finish it because I do want to know what happened. As far as I can tell, the book takes place in the 90s. So it's about this girl, Charlie, who goes to college in like the 90s, and then there is a campus serial killer, and like 3 people have been killed. So far I've only heard about 1, but it says on the back that there's 3, which was her best friend who got killed. And now she's leaving college because she's like grieving and all that. It's been 2 months, and now she's in the car with a stranger. And as the book goes on, from what I can read on the back, she suspects that he is the serial killer. We will see. I feel like that's too obvious though if he is. But we'll see.
Can you help someone else when you're feeling bad about yourself? How come the same level
25 pages left, you guys. Hi guys, so I wanted to come with a bit of an update. It is day 2 of the vacation, and it's book number 2. I don't like plan or expect to read a book every single day, but right now it's still like the road trip phase of it, so I just read this on the drive because it was only like 320 pages, so not that long, and I read 80 pages of it last night. But I wanted to give my final review and like my thoughts on it. So I haven't even rated this actually yet, now that I'm thinking about it, because I just finished it like 30 minutes ago, but I'm thinking like a 3-star honestly, because yes, I will say I did like this better than the 2 other books that I've read that were in like the similar theme of like a thriller on one night in a car, you know? It was the best out of the 3, but I still don't love it, and I did guess who like the killer was before it was revealed. So I don't know, I feel like Riley Sager, I never guess his plot twists because they're always so crazy and like outlandish that I just am flabbergasted every time, and this book just didn't have that shock value, so I didn't love it as much. But it wasn't bad. I still like wanted to know more, and I still kept reading and like was intrigued about it, so it's not like I was annoyed or bored and like thought that it was badly written or anything. I still think that Riley Sager is a great author. We did get more point of view, so it wasn't only Charlie who was like the main person. I mean, she was the main character and we did see most of it in her point of view, but we did see other point of views. So, but yeah, overall I would just say like 3 stars. Not amazing, but it was great to read on a road trip, especially because of the fact that it takes place during a road trip, so that kind of matched the vibe. And then also just the fact that like it's a great like quick read that you can read in one day. Okay, as I was saying before my parents opened the door, is that this is perfect for like a road trip or during the summer or anything like where you need a quick read, because it is quite short and you can definitely read it and binge it in one day, just like I did. I mean, it's only like 3 p.m. right now. As for the vacation, we have made it to Prague. We are in our second destination for the trip and the second book and all that, so that is perfect. It's really nice weather here, which is really great. It's like 25 degrees Celsius, and there's a pool here, but I don't know if I want to go swimming because I don't know if my parents do, and I don't really want to go swimming alone. But anyways, that's not what this vlog is about, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's talk about our next read, which I've already picked out. It's going to be Blue Sisters by Coco Milor. who is the author of Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I have not read it. I've never read a book by this author in general, but I've heard great things about it. And some people have said that this reminds them of the Addicted Calloway Sisters, my favorite series in the whole entire universe. So I had to buy it. Like, I know it's not going to be that, and it's not a series or anything, it's just one book, but I'm really excited. And I also just wanted to, also for the sake of this video, do a bunch of different genres. So, you know, we had a romance book, now we had a thriller, and now we have like a contemporary women's fiction, I think could possibly be what this book is. It says on the back that it's Little Women, but for the contemporary female experience. And then I think this cover is stunning. Like, I think it's so just aesthetically pleasing. This book is also not that long. It's only 340 pages-ish. So like 15 pages longer than the other one. So we'll see if I finish this tomorrow. Considering tomorrow is another driving day. But we'll see. The other reason why I'm also reading so much is because the internet connection has been so bad. So I haven't really been able to do anything because my phone just hasn't really been working that much. So what else do you do on a road trip? You read. At least I do. So, but this is our next read, and I'll keep you guys updated, of course.
Such a beautiful lie when I still want you closer. I am longing for closure, and I'm wondering why. No matter what I do, I keep on falling for you.
As you could just see, I finally finished this book. I have not been as fast as I was with the other books because of the fact that we didn't have any more driving days. Like the past 5 days we've been in Budapest, and we've gone out, like spent the entire day in Budapest, so I haven't like had time to read other than like the mornings and the evenings, and I just haven't been that interested in this book. So yeah, this was book number 3, and we're now 1 week exactly into the trip. There's still a week and a half left. That's just my little update of how we are in the vacation time, and how many books I can read so far. 3. And yeah, let's talk about this book. I think I'm going to rate this book like 3 stars ish, because while it wasn't awful, I also didn't think it was that good. I can see why people love it, or like why they really enjoy it. It is greatly written, but I think what I usually enjoy in books is not this type of book. But basically Blue Sisters is about 4 sisters, and one of them has passed away, so the other 3 are kind of going through grief. Like, the book starts on the 1-year anniversary of their sister's death, and you see all 3 sisters' point of views, and they kind of alternate throughout their point of views throughout the whole book. And you just see them kind of grieving and how they kind of lost themselves in the last year since they lost their sister, and now they're trying to both find peace within themselves, but also to try and find a way to be together, all 3 sisters, without the 4th one there. Like how they can form a trio now that they don't have the 4th sister anymore. And that is a really powerful story. Like, it is like about grief and like sisterhood and all these things. That is really powerful topics and stuff. But first of all, the chapters are so long. Like, I feel like the chapters are like 40 pages each or something. It's crazy. I don't like that. And then I felt like, I know like the story had plot kind of, but at the same time there wasn't really a plot. Like, there wasn't like a mystery or anything. It was very character driven, but I didn't connect to the characters, and I think it's because my life is so different from these characters that I can't like put myself in the place for that. I am so fortunate, and I'm going to knock on wood, I have not experienced grief, so I can't talk about how well that was depicted in this book because I don't have personal experience with that. These sisters, 2 of them also struggles with addictions, both alcohol and drugs. I also don't like have any, you know, experience with that. And then their personalities in general, like, they were a bit annoying, and I didn't connect to the characters. I didn't feel for them. This, in the very like last page, when I like almost teared up, that was the first reaction emotion I've had in all 350 pages of this book. I definitely can see how in some ways it is like how people can see that they see the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, or like the sisters in this. Like, I definitely see, I feel like the youngest sister is reminding me of Daisy, which is also the youngest sister in the Calloway Sisters. Daisy, she's a model of a young age, just like her. And the oldest sister is also kind of like Rose and trying to help the younger sisters and all of these things. But overall, I just didn't love it. But I wasn't like totally bored. I wasn't like gonna DNF it or anything. I still enjoyed reading it, and I would recommend it to people if they find this type of story enjoyable. But it's just not like my type of book or genre. But I still liked it nonetheless, and I love the cover. Like, I've taken so many pictures of this book because I love the cover. So at least that's something. But moving on to our next read, which is going to be right up my alley, because I needed a book that I wanted to like binge, you know what I mean? And I'm so excited about this book. I've been wanting to read it since it came out, and I just haven't done it because I've kind of been in a slump, and I've just had other books that I wanted to read. But it is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I have read most of her books. I think there's one, Meet Me by the Lake or something. I haven't read that one, but I loved what was it called? The book she came out with last year. I really liked that one. The orange and yellow cover. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I read that on vacation last year actually. And then I know this is like a sequel kind of, not really, but an interconnected standalone with Every Summer After, which was her first book. And like, it has some of the same characters. The brother from that book, it's his love story. So very excited about that. I also love this cover. I think it's so pretty, and I'm really excited to read this book. So that is the update for now. And because this is a book video, I wanted to show my new bookmark that I bought yesterday at a market in Budapest. It said it was handmade. I'll see you guys on the flip side when I start reading this book. Yay! Also, it's 30 degrees today. Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello guys. I just wanted to give a bit of an update because I am like halfway through One Golden Summer, or at least about halfway through. I'm on chapter 26, which is page 121. Wait, no, page 171. So I just wanted to give like a little bit of a halfway update. I'm obsessed. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, 5-star obsessed, like a 4-star obsessed, I would say, but I love Charlie. I love their banter, and I love the way they talk. I've heard so many great things about Charlie, and I definitely agree with them all. I think he's so charming and sweet, but let me just explain what the book is about if you don't know. It is about Alice, who is 32 years old. She turns 33 in the book. She is a photographer. When she was 17 years old, she spent a summer at the lake, at this lake in Canada, which is also the same lake and stuff that Every Summer After was taking place at. And she would kind of look at Charlie, his younger brother, and his girlfriend while they would like have fun all summer, and she would wish that she could be a part of that. So now that she's 32 and she's back at that lake with her grandma, she makes a bucket list of what she would want to do to feel 17 again, like things she should do now this summer that she wished she would have done when she was 17 years old. And then Charlie lives across the water and he sees this note, and he's also the one who's kind of like taking care of the place that they're staying at, but he accidentally sees the list and just kind of helps her do the things. It's not like a romantic list or anything, it's more like just fun summer things like skinny dipping and jumping off a cliff and these kind of things. That's basically just like what the book is about. It is the perfect summer setting. It is just the most perfect summer book. It fits the vibe amazingly, and I just love their banter. Like, he's so like witty and just charming, and he knows exactly what to say, and being a bit flirtatious and all these things. So it's just, I love it so much. So I am going to continue reading, and I'll definitely be reading this on the drive tomorrow when we go to Vienna. Hello you guys, I wanted to give you guys an update because if you couldn't tell from my last clip, I finished One Golden Summer and I rate this book 4 stars. I loved it, but not enough to like give it a 5-star, and especially because I hate third act breakups, but sometimes I can be like, okay, that made sense, or like that was fitting for the book or whatever. But this third act breakup just made me annoyed because I'm like, it's so unrealistic that something like that would happen in real life. And even like trying to put myself in that point of view, I just don't understand why you would make that decision. Obviously I'm not going to spoil it, so that's really all I have to say about the third act breakup. It's just that I don't think that was like realistic or necessary for the story to have that third act breakup. But other than that, I really liked both of the characters, and I loved just the story and the summer feeling, like going jet skiing and jumping off the boat and just having like so much fun in the summertime. I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. It's also, as far as I know, the first Carly Fortune book where it's not dual timelines. Like all her other books are like a second chance romance where you go back in time and then you see them now. This is not that. You only see like the now. But I really like the photographer aspect of it because Alice, as I said, is a photographer, and there's a lot of like moments of like taking pictures, and I also personally really like taking pictures. Obviously not at the same level as she does, but I understand like when you're seeing a perfect like thing and you're like, I want to take a picture of that. I really enjoyed that part of it, and just their banter and the way they communicated and talked, and like they had the banter the entire time, like all the way to the end. I really enjoyed that part about it. So overall, just a really great read that I would definitely recommend to read on vacation or just in general. 4 stars, and the 4th book of the video. And then let's jump right into the next one because I finished that one and we still had some driving left. By the way, I don't even say that. We're right now in Vienna. We just got to the campsite. My parents are checking us in, so I just wanted to update while they do that. But we have arrived, so that's very exciting. But my next read is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Right now I am 103 pages into The Boyfriend, which is chapter 16, and the book is kind of dual point of view, but one point of view is like, I don't even know how many years ago, it doesn't say, but it says before, and it's from like a 17-year-old boy. And then the other point of view is in the present time from a 34-year-old woman who is Sydney. And basically it's about this serial killer who dates his victims before he kills them. And Sydney goes on a lot of dates and all this, and I haven't gotten to the point yet, but it says on the back that she meets a boyfriend. Like, she gets the perfect boyfriend, she loves him so much and all these things, but she was also scared at the same time that he could be the serial killer because there was just a girl in this book that was brutally murdered by what we presume is the date. So that's kind of like what the book is about. And then that other storyline is from a guy named Tom when he was 17 years old, and he seems like a killer, and he could be the guy who's like the killer in the present time, but I don't know because we haven't heard any names or anything. So far, I don't know, like, it's intriguing, but I'm not like at the edge of my seat, you know, like some thrillers, they kind of start being thrilling, if that makes sense, like almost from the get-go, where like every chapter you're like, I need to know more. Whereas here, I mean, I'm almost 100 pages, I am 100 pages in, and she hasn't even met the guy who's supposed to be her boyfriend, and it's only a 350 page book. So I don't know, there's no cliffhangers and the end of the chapters and stuff like that. So, but I'm still intrigued to read it, but I'll obviously keep you guys updated as I read along.
Can you help someone else when you're feeling bad about yourself? How come they say love will heal everything when it hurts like hell? Can you travel the world when you don't know your way around? How can you run anywhere when your feet won't even touch the ground? So many thoughts.
I knew it! Oh my god. I think I guessed who the killer was in chapter 2. So if this turns out to be what it is, I can't even. Okay, let me read more. I have less than 40 pages left. Maybe I didn't guess the killer. Wait, I'm scared. Oh my god, wait. I did not see that coming whatsoever. What? What the fuck? Okay. What the fuck? Okay, let's talk, you guys. I finished The Boyfriend, which is actually crazy because I started it today, but I just couldn't put it down, and I've just been wanting to read it. So I don't really know what to rate this book, but I think I'm going to rate it 4 stars, because even though as I was reading it I was like, I don't really love it, it's not that thrilling, I feel like it deserves 4 stars because of the plot twist. And I feel like it's okay to say that there's a plot twist because it's a thriller. There's supposed to be a plot twist, but I just like, obviously as you're reading the book there's an obvious answer, so it's like it can't be that obvious, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be that. So you start making all these theories, and I had like 3 different theories for the book that I thought was where it was gonna go, or at least somewhere close to that. And while in theory I was correct about some of it, the actual plot thing, whatever, I did not guess at all. Like I said, this book is about a serial killer who is dating his victims and then killing them. And I was like, okay, I have these people that I'm suspecting that could be the killer. And literally, when I tell you, not in my wildest dreams, like not until the chapter where it was revealed, so I did guess it like before the one sentence where it said it, but I only guessed it like in that chapter, which is like, you know, like over 300 pages into the book. Like, truly flabbergasted. Probably one of the best twists that I have seen in a Freida McFadden book, honestly, because in The Housemaid I had guessed it before, like the plot twist, I guessed it in The Housemaid. The Inmate, kind of not. I can't remember. I read The Teacher, but I don't honestly remember what the plot twist was. I hated that book, but I feel like it deserves 4 stars because it just left me so shook that was the answer, that she deserves 4 stars for doing that, and for me to read it all in one day. It obviously wasn't boring. I couldn't put it down. I kept wanting to read, even though I found some parts of it boring, it still, I guess, all made sense for what the book is. And I do find it interesting, like, again, like I was saying, it's a dual point of view. So you see Sydney in the present time trying to, like, dating these guys and all that, and then hearing about these murders and getting scared, and then the past where you see this guy named Tom when he's like 16-17 years old, and he's like showing these like psychopathic tendencies, right? And you're like, oh, like, what? And then the way those two storylines like connect, mind blown. So I would actually really recommend this book. I liked it more than the Riley Sager book that I read. It is actually, I would say, one of the higher ups of my Freedom McFadden reads. Chuck. And as a palate cleanser for that, now that I've reread a scary book and all that, I'm going to go with a romance, which is Promise Me Not by Cara Pistone. I read her, wait, no, I keep calling it Promise Me Not. This book is called Ready or Not. What is that all about? Promise Me Sunshine? Or something like that. Her other book, one of her other books I've read by her, and I really, really enjoyed that book. I want to give this one a try. My friend Flo really likes it, so hopefully I will too. And I love that this book is floppy. I also think the cover is adorable. I don't really know much about this book, but I do know that it is a unexpected pregnancy trope, but with a twist in a way that I've not read a book before, that the love interest is not the father of the child. So that's very interesting. Normally in unexpected pregnancy, the love interest is the guy who gets her pregnant, but that's not the case in this book. So very interested to see that. But like, literally just look at this cover. It is so cute and summerly. Can't wait to read this by the lake tomorrow when I'm tanning. I don't know if I'll start it tonight. I might, but it is 9 p.m. Ooh. So yeah, now we've finished the 5th book. We're going to be starting the 6th book of this trip. Can we get to 10? It really just depends how much I read these next many days. I still have like 8 days left of this vacation, so I'll be seeing you, Malloy. Hi guys, I hope you can see me. I am right now sitting outside near the lake, but I want to talk about the book, Ready or Not. I am on page 151, which is chapter 12, so I'm about halfway, a little bit less than that. First of all, the book is about Eve, who accidentally gets pregnant on a one-night stand. This one-night stand happened a few weeks before the book takes place, so in chapter 1 she finds out she's pregnant. It kind of causes some issues-ish with her best friend, because her best friend has been trying to get pregnant for years, so there's kind of ambivalent feelings about it, because even though her friend wants to be supportive, she also is feeling sad because it's not her who is pregnant, and I can see that side of it. So instead, it is actually her best friend's brother who steps in to help her and be there for her during the pregnancy, because like I said before, the guy who gets her pregnant is not the love interest, he's just the baby daddy. I think that's really interesting and really fun and like kind of unique. I haven't read something like that before, and then I just love that his brother's best friend, and I definitely think he like gives golden retriever, funny, cute guy, but who's also kind of nerdy and shy, but definitely I think has a crush on her, or like finds her beautiful, and just some of the things he says and does, even though they're not at all together, it's just so cute. Like there's nothing like romantic about there's nothing romantic so far about like their interactions, because this is a slow burn. It says on the back, the perfect slow burn friends to lovers romance. So it's just so cute to see, and I love a good slow burn. So very excited about that. And even though they're just friends right now, it's just, I can just tell that he's going to be a great boyfriend. I I love it. I love reading on vacation. But so far, I am really enjoying it. I like the storyline. I like the characters. I like where it's going. I feel like the other book I read by her, Promise Me Not, or whatever it was called, Promise Me Sunshine, I feel like that was a third person point of view, but I could be wrong. But this one is not. It's first person, which love. There are kids being loud in the background. It's okay. But yeah, that was just my little update to say that I am really enjoying the book so far, and I can't wait to read more and get to know the MMC more. His name is Shep, however. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but S-H-E-P, like sheep, but without the extra E. So I've been pronouncing it as Shep, but I actually don't know, and that is such a weird name. I will say that's the only unattractive thing about him. That was just all I wanted to say.
Such a beautiful lie when I still want you closer. I am longing for closure, and I'm wondering why. No matter what I do, I keep on falling for you.
Hello beautiful people. I wanted to talk to y'all because yesterday evening I finished Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, so I'm here to talk about it. I rate this book 4 stars. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I just didn't get like the 5-star feeling, you know, but I still really liked it. I love the MMC. I love the slow burn aspect of it. I love just how the romance developed, and I liked that extra character of the of the father of the child who wasn't the love interest. Like, I thought that was like, again, I feel like I've already said this, but like a unique circumstance that I haven't really read about in a book before. So I really liked that. I filmed some of my reactions yesterday, but just the scene that came up of like the front page of the book, like as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, that's what that is, and I just teared up. Like, oh. There's just something so cute about it, like a shy, goofy, cute, nerdy guy who doesn't understand that he's like attractive and has been pining after his sister's best friend. But yeah, it was just so cute and wholesome and good. I wouldn't say it's a summer read because it is like Christmas and mostly in the winter months actually, and I would definitely recommend this book if you don't mind accidental pregnancy. Like, she doesn't give birth until like one of the last chapters, so it is like about like the journey of pregnancy, not about like the actual birth. So, and then this morning I started this book, which is The Wedding People by Alison Isbach, which is the first book I'm reading on my Kindle so far. But I've been hearing great things about this book. People really love it, so I thought I wanted to give it a chance, and that's why I'm reading it. I'm like on chapter 2. The chapters, however, are really long. Like, each chapter is like almost half an hour on the Kindle thing. So what I've gathered so far from chapter 1 is about Phoebe, who goes to this hotel that she's been wanting to go to for the last 2 years. She just got divorced to her now ex-husband, so she goes here alone. She shows up and she's like, why is there so many people? It turns out that everyone at the hotel is there for a wedding, and they made a mistake or something that allowed her to be able to stay there even though she's not part of the wedding party. But people like think she is because everyone there is, so they're like, oh, who are you here for? And she's like, no one. And then it says in chapter 1, so I don't feel like it's a spoiler, but she says that she's there to kill herself. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is that she's depressed and has showed up at this hotel, and I assume it's going to be about the wedding people, all the people who are there. yes, I am excited to read the book. I don't like the long chapters, but it'll be fine.
Can you help someone else when you're feeling bad about yourself? How come they say love will heal everything when it hurts like hell? Can you travel the world when you don't know your way around? How can you run anywhere when your feet won't even touch the ground?
Hi guys, I actually don't know, did I last film yesterday at the lake? I think so. I am 40% through The Wedding People, and I have decided to DNF it for now. I don't know if I'll go back to it, but I just am not in the mood for this book right now. I'll try and explain more what it's about than what I knew in the beginning, but like I said, basically it's about Phoebe, our main character, who goes to this really gorgeous, outlandish hotel in like Nantucket, I think, to kill herself because she's depressed and she just got divorced and her husband was having an affair and everything. But then she ends up befriending the wife because at this hotel there is a wedding going on, like it's a whole wedding week, and she ends up becoming friends with the bride, who invites her to some of the things that all the wedding people are doing. But I'm just not connecting to the characters, I'm not connecting to the story. Like, it feels like I'm just reading words where I'm like, I don't know why I'm reading this, you know? And I'm like, I feel like if I put this down and I start a different book, I'm not gonna be like, I wonder what's gonna happen, because it's not like a thriller where like I want to know what happens next. Like, there's nothing that's keeping me in the world, like makes me want to move forward. So for now I'm going to DNF it. Maybe on the drive home in a few days I'll be like, oh, I have nothing else to do because I'm just in the car, but right now I don't want to read it. So I actually have a different book that I want to read, which is actually a book that I just bought today at the store here in the city that we're at, and I've never heard of this book before. So it is called Love Letters to a Serial Killer, and it is apparently a thriller. I didn't know that when I bought it. I actually thought it was more like a dark romance, but it said it was a thriller. But literally on the back it says, I didn't plan to fall in love with an accused serial killer. Nevertheless, my wrists and ankles are bound to a chair and I can only blame myself. I strain at the ropes, take a deep breath, and prepare to die. So that seems really freaking interesting. So that is what I'm going to be reading. I did look it up on Goodreads and it does not have very great reviews. Mostly 3 stars, but I feel like that's okay for a thriller. That's what I'm going to be reading. Also, I think I forgot to say the loud noise in the background is the AC, because it is in fact like 32 degrees outside, which is 90 Fahrenheit. So, but I'm going to start this book now. It is only 316 pages, so nothing crazy. Let's read. The AC is still really loud, so don't mind that, but I just wanted to give it a little bit of an update because I am like almost halfway-ish. Actually, when you look at it, I'm not really halfway at all. I am on page 108. I don't know what I expected from this book, but it's definitely not that. And I'm just like what the fuck? You know? Basically, it's about Hannah, who, I don't really know how to describe her, honestly, but it's about Hannah, and she's working this job, she doesn't really like it, and then murders keep happening. She gets really invested, like she goes on forums, which I guess is kind of like Reddit, talks to other people who are really obsessed with these murders, and more bodies like keep piling up, and then they find the murderer, and she gets so angry, so she sends him a letter. But then he ends up responding to that letter, and they just keep texting, like not texting obviously, but like writing letters back and forth, and she like falls in love with him, and it's so freaking weird because I don't understand how you can be in love with someone. I don't understand how you can be in love with someone after you've literally like been posting online about these women who have been brutally murdered by him. and you're like, he understands me. And I'm like, what am I reading? Like, what am I reading? I love the cover though. It's definitely interesting and not something I've ever read before. And like it says on the little review thing on the cover, original. Definitely original. Never read a book like that before. They even reference Ted Bundy, like that woman. They said her name, but I can't remember. That woman who falls in love with him and has his child while he's in prison. It's kind of giving that. It's like reading a book from her point of view, you know? I think it's like so out of my realm. Like I can't even comprehend it like this, because there's such thing as dark romance, which is like the mafia or like something crazy, but like this actually happens, you know what I mean? Like people actually in real life fall in love with serial killers. And even though I'm in her head, in her point of view, I do not understand. But anyways, I'm going to continue reading because like it's such a short book and I already just DNF one. I'm not going to DNF another one. So we're pushing through and gonna see what the hell is gonna happen. We've just made it to the trial. Like she just showed up at the trial, so she's like meeting him for the first time, like being in the same room as him for the first time at his trial. Definitely original and unique. Okay, you guys, I finished the book, so let's talk about it. This book, in so many ways, is deeply disturbing. Hannah's thoughts, who is the main character and like the person whose point of view we were reading this book from, is just so concerning. Like she has a disturbed mind. Not in a way that like a psychopath is disturbed, because she's not a psychopath, she's not a killer, but she fantasizes about like violence, which is why she ends up falling in love with a serial killer. Not because she loves him as a person, but because she loves like that danger that he is a potential serial killer. Because it is only about an accused serial killer. This is not a spoiler, by the way, it's on the back of the book. So we see this guy, William, who gets accused of these 4 murders, and they start corresponding in these letters. And then we see his trial, like all these things coming to light, like could he have done it or could he not have done it, and all these things. And that's basically what the book is about, like her trying to figure out like if she believes that he's a murderer or not, and loving him anyway. I don't know, like I rate this book 3 stars because it wasn't phenomenal, and I did guess like the twist, you know what I mean? Like I guessed what was gonna happen multiple times before it happened, so there was nothing like really shocking to me in this book, which is what you want in a thriller. You want something that's shocking, and it wasn't. But I wrote in my Goodreads review, I was like, it's like a train wreck where you can't look away, you know? Like even though I was like, this is so weird and just so out there, I also couldn't stop reading it because I was also fascinated about it, you know? And it's definitely a very like unique and intriguing story, because I've never read a book like that before where you're in the mind of someone who could in any way fall in love with a serial killer. And I don't mean in the way that like in the Mind Book series the main character is also a serial killer, like you're rooting for her. It's a completely different scenario, you know? But like I don't know, but the Goodreads average rating is 3.28, so my 3-star rating is actually very fitting. So if you want to read an average book, but a book that is original and like unique in a thriller, you might want to read this. Because like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, because it still was really intriguing to read. So but this was book number 7, and technically like 7.5, the 8th different book that I've talked about in this video. I'm scared that this video is going to be so freaking long. But I actually haven't decided what I'm going to read next. I have a few different options. Okay, I have 4 books left of all the books that I brought with me, but 2 of them I'm not really in the mood for. Okay, there's been a quick intermission for like 30 minutes, but I'm back. And I never finished my thought, but what I was saying is just that this is the first book Ellie's ever wrote, and that I'm between these 2 books. I have since, in this little break, been reading the back of both of these books, trying to decide. And I think I'm gonna go with First Time Caller just because it's more like of a unique kind of book compared to Off to the Races. And I'm just not really feeling the vibe after reading the back of it. But I know her first series is like this is her first published book, I think. So obviously it's not gonna be as good as the other books, so I'm just a little bit scared. But I do want to read it. I do own the whole series, but it's not the book for today. But maybe if I can finish this one before we get back home, I can read this one. I don't even know if I've said, but this is our last day. Tomorrow morning we're driving and we should be back home on Tuesday. So if I can read a book a day, then, but otherwise still this will just be the last book of the video. I don't really know much about this book, but from reading the back, it's just this guy who works at a radio. They get a call from a little girl trying to find love for her mom. The mom ends up falling in love with the guy on the radio, I think, if I understood it correctly, but I'll let you know when I'm in it. It is like 430 pages, I think I checked. Oh wait, no. Oh, I've read a book by this author before. Love Light Farms, the Christmas book. I actually read that in a video, so that's kind of funny. Yes, oh, it's the first person. Always something I check. Hello guys, I am now back home, if you couldn't tell from the background of the video. Also, don't mind this, I don't really know what it is, but anyways, we ended up being home a lot earlier than expected. Like, I wasn't supposed to be home until tomorrow, and we were gonna have another overnight stay, which I was gonna talk about and all that yesterday. But then we ended up like at 6 p.m. or something. My parents decided we're just gonna drive all the way home. So we drove like over 1,000 kilometers yesterday from 7:30 in the morning until midnight, 16.5 hours. So in that time, I binged this entire book, First Time Caller, that I started yesterday. I started it in the car and I also finished it in the car. I actually had to download it on my Kindle by the end of it because I needed like the last 50 pages, but it got too dark out so I couldn't see the pages anymore. Since we were in the car and I was with my parents, I didn't really talk about the book at all yesterday. I did try to like film some of my reactions towards the book like while I was in the car, but I rate this book 4.5 stars. I loved it so much. It was so much better than I could have ever anticipated. I couldn't stop smiling and like giggling, and I even had tears in my eyes multiple times. Like, there was just something about this book. I just could not stop like being giddy about it. But basically what the book is about, now that I've read it, I can explain it. It is dual point of view, and we first of all have Aiden, who works at a radio station. He is the host of a show called Heartstrings, which is like a romance hotline where people can call in and ask questions romance wise. And one night Maya calls in, who is the 12-year-old daughter of our other main character, Lucy, and she calls in saying that she wants love for her mom. That ends up being Lucy and Aiden talk over the phone a little bit. A week goes by and whatnot, and then all of a sudden that clip where Lucy was talking on the hotline goes viral. Like, it gets millions and millions of views, and everyone is all of a sudden invested in Lucy's love life. So they bring her on as like a guest host some days, like a segment of the show where it's like Lucy's road to love, where they're trying to find guys for her. So she goes on these dates and all that, but obviously the romance is with her and Aiden, the other host. And it's just so cute, and you see him be so jealous having to set her up on these dates, and he's just being so mean about it, and like to the guys, and just like forgetting their names and all these things because he just wants her. But he also doesn't believe in love because of all these things that have happened in his life. So like it's kind of like he wants her, but at the same time he's like, I can't give her what she wants. And just it was just so cute, you guys. And I loved the storyline, like even her little family with her daughter and her baby daddy. They weren't really ever like dating, so I really like that aspect of it as well, like seeing that little family and the baby daddy's husband, like that, just it was great. So many funny moments, like I've laughed so many times, smiled, like such cute things. And because I was in the car, I couldn't like highlight and underline, so there are so many things that I wish I could like go back and like highlight. I want to show you guys like what their like humor is like. After every chapter there's like a dialogue kind of written down from the show, like a conversation, and then it says who says what. That's like the end of every chapter. I'm trying to find one of those. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. The person who's trying to tell the joke is Aiden, and the person who's confused and answering is Lucy. So Aiden says knock knock. What? That's not how you're supposed to respond. Respond to what? To knock knock. Knock knock. What? Why are you staring at me like that? Knock knock, Lucy. There is someone knocking at the door. What is happening? I'm trying to tell a joke. Are you? Yes. A knock knock joke? Obviously. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. Try again. No. Come on, don't be shy. I was just surprised. No. Is this because I said that you never... No, never mind. Forget about it. I can't explain it, you guys. It's just so good. Just read this book, guys. It is the perfect little like rom-com. I could like, as I was like reading it, I was envisioning it like this could be the perfect rom-com movie. I'll be the director. Just hit me up. But anyways, now that I'm home, we can talk about it. I read 8.5 books in the, I think it was 17 days. So about almost like a book for every other day. And this is our perfect stack of, should I put it in order on how I read it? Okay, I'll put it in order. Out on a Limb, Survive the Night, Blue Sisters, One Golden Summer, The Boyfriend, Ready or Not, Love Letters to a Serial Killer, and First Time Caller. And then the half book was The Wedding People. This whole stack is everything I read. I honestly don't think I've ever read that much on a vacation, but I'm not sure. But a lot of times I just go into like a reading slump when I'm on vacation for some reason, and then I stop, but I never did here. So that was great. So many books. I don't know where I'm gonna do with my bookshelf because a lot of these books were on my TBR shelf. Now my TBR shelf is gonna be like a little bit empty because I just read so many of them, and now I need to find space for them in my read area. So but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed reading along on this vacation. I thought it was a really fun idea. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.